Head over towards the Airbnb industry for San Francisco. You do notice one major aspect. Many of these units are having massive price cuts. And look at this, 143 to 89, 129 to 95. And we're seeing many of the people who bought a lot of these condos, a lot of these Airbnb units during 0% interest rates during the pandemic, they are now taking massive hits. Everyone expected office workers to come back. Everyone expected tourism to rebound. But apparently during those couple years, I guess San Francisco really deteriorated. They did not put any checks and balances in terms of the open air drug market. Tenderloin basically spread out towards everywhere in San Francisco. And it's just not like the good place to live anymore. Millionaires and billionaires are all moving out. And sure, their headquarters are still in San Francisco. Many of them have shrunk by humongous margins. Now look at this. We're seeing many of these construction projects taking huge beatings, right? And San Francisco's whole entire real estate situation is collapsing here, which is really troubling considering the fact that we have a lot of regional banks who have money in San Francisco. Go on Google Maps and look around. These are all the major towers and skyscrapers all around us that are founded and funded by small regional banks. And many of these small regional banks are a little bit freaked out right now. This is why Buffett didn't buy any small regional banks, despite them dropping that much. He knows that there's so many of these buildings, they pretty much drop like 80% in price. They can't really compete on this level. And once again, dropping 80% in value, it's going to be hurting many of these banks. So this is also causing a lot of these bank investors and wealthy individual investors to not fund projects like these. San Francisco's $1.2 billion Hayes Point Tower stops construction over enormous amounts of crime and homelessness. Now, the thing about this is they're going to be having a lot of retail space. But look at IKEA. IKEA recently opened up right around the corner, and they have zero business. And it's a stone's throw away from this construction site. And that's because of the insane amount of crime, homelessness, and drug use on the streets. Nobody wants to go out and go to IKEA, right? What about the office space? Vacancies are heading towards 40%. Okay, people are saying that the vacancies are way higher than that. And the amount of new companies coming to San Francisco to rent offices is at an all-time low. Are people buying condos? Absolutely not, right? Many of the condos in San Francisco, nobody wants them. And it's really sad to see these pretty high-end units just dropping in price every single day, nonstop. I mean, just head over towards downtown San Francisco and look at some of these units. Enormous amounts of price cuts, and they're on Zillow for hundreds of days, even years. And look at this condo here. It's not even in that bad of a district. It's kind of okay. The overall condo looks pretty good, and they already have a $30K price cut, and it's at $550K. You would not find a condo, one bed of this caliber for $550K before the pandemic. It was super duper expensive, and several of these units have to drop by 30%. So you got 3 for 3 at this point, and this is why Hayes Point is completely canceled. And San Francisco also has these really odd barriers to housing construction, right? The city adopted a state-approved plan in January to build 82,000 new housing units in 8 years. It's already failing. Many of the construction companies don't even want to come here to build units. And one of the biggest reasons why is you just don't make any money. So big construction projects like these, who's supposed to be providing a lot of office space and condos, have completely ceased existence. We also have another massive building like One Oak, which is supposed to build just right next to this project, also got canceled as well. So we also have San Francisco's really weird housing construction and a lot of barriers that really prevents any business from opening up a business. I mean, businesses are already moving out, and it's really weird because, like, I've noticed something. California, they love taxing, but they also just don't like it when you open a business. That's really weird, right? It's supposed to be like the other way around. You want to tax people, so you encourage people, you incentivize, you knock down some barriers for them to open up businesses. But people who want to open like a restaurant in LA or do like a small construction project in San Francisco, it's tedious work. It's so hard to get everything approved, and it's so time consuming. And you also get to this situation here, which is a massive turnoff for all real estate developers. Many construction companies don't want to come here to build new housing, which you could probably see by the new construction in San Francisco. It's basically non-existent. You don't see any new construction projects or any units for sale in San Francisco. I mean, just go on Zillow. It's super easy. Just type in 2022, hit apply. You don't even have any units on the market. This is like an enormous city, a super big market. And 2022 and newer projects, you only have like 10 to 11 projects. It just shows you that there's basically no construction in San Francisco. And many of these were actually constructed like a couple years ago. Wasn't even this year. So look at the new construction. There's basically no new construction. I've been on San Francisco real estate for a couple years now, and it's always like the same old projects every single couple years. There's never anything new. And then when you go to like Manhattan, there's always like a new skyscraper being for sale every single week. Look at the amount of new construction in Manhattan, right? This is crazy. Every single month when I check out Street Easy or Manhattan Real Estate, there's always some brand new condo building being built. Look at the amount of new construction. It's crazy. So New York City, it's still busting. They're still doing pretty good. Even Brooklyn, like go to Brooklyn, the amount of new construction is absolutely crazy. Look at all this dots, right? There's new construction everywhere. And then you head towards like San Francisco, bam. There's like virtually no new construction. You know, you got a couple here, a couple there, and many of them, like I said, were constructed like several years ago. They're not even constructed in 2022. So it's a little misleading right there. So yeah, do you really think they're going to be coming to San Francisco to construct? Probably not. And they also just start supporting the conversion of office to buildings. You know, offices, these buildings, these empty shells are now being turned to apartments. They're trying to incentivize this. So you basically have no more construction, no more new construction. Many of the construction companies in San Francisco are already leaving. And also, trying to convert office space to housing is super expensive in San Francisco. It seems like the Bay Area dollar is like worth so much less than like anywhere else in the country. People are saying it's $1,000 per square feet, which pretty much puts it in the super luxury rental market or the high-end condo market. And right now, nobody's renting high-end luxury apartments, right? Just a great example to show you guys, which is Nema. These guys are a high-end office and / high-end apartment as well. Super high-end, right next to Twitter. And it's also right next to construction of Hayes Point. This building has already lost 50% of its value. Used to be worth $550 million. Now it's worth $280 million. Shows you that values like these buildings, despite housing people and being residential, doesn't save you from a massive price downgrade. And so this is actually causing a lot of people to freak out. They're like, okay, we found a bunch of offices that we could convert to apartments, but no construction company wants to do it because they probably can't make any money. And this is kind of like this loop that San Francisco is in. They try to do anything, but nobody really wants to do it because the demand is so incredibly low. Not to mention tech layoffs are now rising. If you guys don't know, we're seeing a lot of unemployment. 3.3 to 3.9 in just a couple months. And apparently tech is laying off a lot of workers. And we're not talking about your average Joe here. We're talking about people making 6 figs being laid off. And when those people get laid off, good luck trying to rent out your luxury $3,000 one bedroom because nobody wants it. So we've seen a lot of big changes in the Bay Area. You know, we also have high unemployment. Consumer demand is at an all-time low right now. Walmart reported their earnings. It's not really that great in my opinion. And the forecast is saying that many consumers are very conservative when it comes to spending. So with America's GDP 60% being relied on consumer spending alone, and you have Walmart saying that consumer spending is weakening, and also you have a bunch of tech layoffs, that doesn't really add up that well. So people are a little bit scared. People aren't really investing. And let's see what happens next to San Francisco real estate.